Sat Nam, I'm Sat Avtar. Welcome to Venus Transmissions. This is part 2 of my Kali Yuga, Piscean Age to Aquarian Age video. My goal, my intention with this video is to help you to understand what's about to happen and support people in understanding the deep spiritual opportunity. We have just been, as a humanity and society, scratching the surface of what we're capable of what really is and what is existing. We've been so separated from ourselves and our souls and our own love and stuck in struggle for so long. And this is the portal to really bring in that Christ consciousness, that love, that awareness. Reconnecting to the soul is the one goal of the Aquarian Age, the Age of Enlightenment. Going from Kali Yuga to awareness, to self-sovereignty, to realizing that all the power is within. It's not with leaders, it's not with externals, it's not with systems. It's all within. And the more that we heal, the more that we change, the more we transform, the more we are able to stay in love, trust, and acceptance, the more we contribute to the collective transformation. We are about to shift from Pluto into Aquarius in just days. And it's going to be there till 2044, with the exception of 2 months this year that happened to be about the time of the election in the US. So it's really interesting. You know, my message is that, too, there's going to be a lot of heightened violence coming up. There's going to be a lot of challenge. And it's our job to stay in love, stay fierce spiritual warriors, have good boundaries, and come out of this codependency and realize that the source of everything is underneath the surface within us. 2 main ways we're really being catalyzed and triggered now to transform and connect to our souls is through loss, death, and relationships. Because these 2 things are the 2 points where we really get the most emotional triggers. Most of what we emotionally get triggered and attached to are our old traumas. That when you're out of victim consciousness and connected to yourself, you see everything from a different place. You feel it. You feel a constant flow of connection and love and wisdom in your heart. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to navigate what's going to be coming up. And that you can remember to come back to this point of purpose and love and peace, and that you make a difference. Your love, self-love, your spiritual practice makes a difference. It is time for us to get deep and real with ourselves, to stop wanting to quantify everything through science. Because when we want to quantify everything and have to have someone else validate us, that is codependency. And like I've said in so many videos, narcissistic relationships, narcissistic structures, these are the catalysts. These are the catalysts for us to wake up. And these are huge opportunities and huge doorways. The last time we had alignments like this, and the times when we have, was like the Revolutionary War. The Revolutionary War. So we're about to see some big things. And we need to stay cool. And we need to keep coming back to love, keep coming back to our hearts, keep every single piece of trauma. Trauma, there's like 2 really main tips I have, and then some other underlying ones. Trauma, healing, and building intuition. Trauma is what is keeping us separated from our souls. It's what's keeping us in illusion. And we're living in addictive societies where we do all these things to run away from it. And honestly, most of the mainstream therapies do not work. They don't address it, they just suppress it. You need your own power, the power of your mind, the power of your heart. You need to love your emotions. To understand this and to get into the pattern of it so you can get your consciousness strong enough, you need things like Kundalini yoga and meditation. You need to understand trauma healing. You need to work with people to start to understand it, and then get your own techniques so that you can do it. I love working with people to help them be empowered to understand it and being able to serve themselves as their own healer. If I could tell you the difference, how I feel now from when I was carrying a lot of trauma. If you don't believe that there's a place where you can feel real love, real connected, I'm here to tell you that you can. And the solutions are out there, and the energy of the planet is here now to support that. Second really main important thing is intuition. Again, Kundalini yoga and meditation, amazing for this. And there's the branches to this on making sure your intuition is strong. What are you eating? What are you feeding your brain, your body? I'm talking about the news. Are you going out in nature? It's again, the stimulants, the addictions. You can hear, this is why I really love teaching mantra, is because it teaches you to hear your own voice. And that's the voice of your intuition, because we kind of have different inner voices. The ones we're programmed with, and then the one that just is like, okay, do this now. And it's clear. And you have to trust enough to do it. The times I have ignored my intuition, now, do I think that if I had not ignored it, things would have changed? No, not necessarily. Because in a way that if those things hadn't happened, I wouldn't have actually gotten so reconnected to myself. But building our intuition is really important. And it helps us to know that, our greatest enemies are our greatest gifts. You don't lose anything when you love something, no matter what it is. You'll never lose. Another tip in this, 3, and I say this because I'm backing it up with the, love your enemy thing, boundaries and saying no. Boundaries and saying no is one of the most powerful ways to get out of codependency, and that's what we're doing to reconnect to our soul, our spirit, our sovereignty, our truth, our purpose. We have to stop being codependent. That's why I talk about the narcissistic relationships so much, because we have to come inside, and when you connect, it's better than any drug, the feeling, than you're ever going to have. Seeing the world dynamically so it's bright and beautiful, powerful, the synchronicities, the magic. Do you want magic? Do you want magic? It's yours for the taking if you're ready to say yes and you're ready to believe in things that you've never believed in before. I kind of touched upon this before. What are you feeding yourself? And I'm not just talking about food, I'm talking about food, medicines, drugs or lack of, news, magazines. Shut off the news. Stop living by other people's narratives. Stop living in fear. And we like to blame everyone else as well. And yes, there are people in this world, structures, collaborations that are causing deep, deep harm on the planet. But we have to stop looking at them and giving away all our power and responsibilities to them and looking at them as the enemy, and start feeling gratitude and love and being warriors. Saying no having the boundaries, calling it out. Stop giving our power away. I mean, this is on a spiritual level and then like a community level on what we do. I've always known since I was young, we were never going to fix this planet by throwing money at things. We were only going to fix it through consciousness, Christ consciousness, love consciousness, awareness, intuition, wisdom, spirit. We have been conditioned to think that we're sinners. We're not sinners. We're not born sinners. We're the most amazing things in the universe. Notice the beliefs that you're feeling, you're hearing in your head. Those are the patterns you're running off. You have to start loving them. But anyway, so, we get into a cycle of where we get angry because these people are doing this, these people are doing that. It's the loop of doom. It doesn't fix anything. It doesn't fix anything. Revenge doesn't fix anything. Only forgiveness. Forgiveness and boundaries. Because if people don't change their behavior, then you do have to put boundaries on that. But we have to stop waiting for people to save us. It can be tough to get out of the loop of consciousness, of understanding how you do that. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 20 years? Governments will probably look completely different than they do now. The way we live, completely different. And, you have those people on the planet that are just feeding themselves through the addictions, through the externals. We hear about all these things that are so violent and grotesque, and it's because these people are so separated from themselves. There's no consciousness. But when we heal our patterns, our beliefs, it's like another wave in the field. So it all ripples and it changes. And when you really experience the healing of your beliefs and your traumas, and you see how your life changes, you see how the people around you change, then you really understand what I'm talking about. This is the Great Awakening. And we have to meet it through love, and we all have to make a choice. But it never means gaslighting your emotions, or denying your inner child, or denying your pain. You have to love it. Bow to it. You have to have a spiritual practice. You choose your own, but it's not just a spiritual practice of one where you read a book. It's got to be one that is fully experienced, felt on every level of your emotional, physical, and mental being. We scratch the surface even with our spiritual practices, our mindfulness. Let's get deep. Let's get real. Let's feel our souls and our hearts. Let's break the barriers. Let's stop worrying about what other people think. Let's sit with the tremors, sit with the traumas, sit with the fears, sit with the self-hate. Because when you start to love yourself and you get past that, it resonates outward. We're going to see some of the strongest people coming out of nowhere in the next few years. And we're going to feel it within ourselves as well. We're going to realize what we're capable of. And when we get through these times where, we're experiencing all this loss and death, because anything that cannot resonate in the Aquarian age is going to leave. I mean, I've been seeing this for the last few years. So many people dying. It's just this separation. They are serving as catalysts for us that are staying here to raise the vibrations, the consciousness. And it's just not something that can be physically held in our bodies either. Every codependency prop that we have is going to be taken away. And we're going to have a chance to rebirth. As always, much love to you, Satnam. You want to work with me? Even if it's just a few sessions, you can learn so much and reconnect so deeply. You need courage, be fearless, be ready to feel love deeper than anything you've felt before, that no one and nothing outside of you can give to you. VenusTransmissions.com under the Soul Connection sessions or private coaching, AquarianYogi.net for my online monthly yoga studio so that you can do practices at home. It's really important. Every minute you have a choice to choose yourself. But be good to yourself, because it's not linear. Life is meant to be experienced in all its glory and gore. Satnam.